Hello, David Zritsky for the Bond Experience. Welcome back. All right, as you can see, I am back at the 007 store and bar right here in Bellington Arcade, and I'm joined by my friend James from Agora Models.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you. Very well.
Is this becoming a very familiar environment for you?
I've been here so often, it's become like the local. Just
You are like the local, right?
Yeah, back and forwards up to the Bellington Arcade.
Well, it's funny too, because even when you are not here, your handiwork is here, because we've got the gold DB5 in the window up here, and right across in Globetrotter, we have another Agora model, don't we?
Yeah, over there's the prototype of the Goldfinger DB5. And the gold-plated one here has had so much attention, it's unbelievable. It's been in the national press, been on all over YouTube. You get so many people coming in and asking about it. It's crazy.
It's amazing. It's created quite a splash. Now listen, I have to roll things back for my audience because the thumbnail said, I'm building my own DB5, and this is not untrue, but as you can see, we're doing it in a slightly smaller scale. But James, my audience likes to hear the journey of these brands, and we got to talk about Agora Models. First of all, in a nutshell, how did Agora's model even come to be?
So I guess it's because I've always loved building model kits when I was a kid, and the problem I had is you can build these models and you get glue everywhere.
Yeah.
And you get paint everywhere, and they never look as good as they looked on the box.
Yeah, and the glue never tastes as good as you think it's going to taste. Am I wrong?
True.
Yeah,
True.
just saying.
So kind of what I wanted to do was kind of make models that the end product was beautiful and, as we say, like museum quality.
Yes.
So we decided to kind of make kits that what you see on the promotion is what you get when you built it. So they're all about 500 to 1,000 parts. All the parts are pre-painted. So like for a car, that's really important because spraying a car is so difficult and only the experts can do that.
Right.
So we spray it all first in the same way the real cars sprayed in the factory. And there's no gluing to the models, so you screw them together. So it's kind of, I started doing plastic kits, but this is more like construction, like Lego.
Right.
Rather than gluing plastic kits. It's kind of somewhere between kits and Lego.
I think that's why Lego has become so fiercely popular with even adults. First of all, it's therapeutic. Second of all, it harkens back to, and it twings on our nostalgia. I remember as a child building models of like Frankenstein and things like that, but I could never paint them.
Yeah.
So I would have this bad glued model that was kind of misshaped. This is almost like bringing it into my adulthood in 2024 and 2025, but in a very thoughtful way.
Yeah, and you kind of, the only way you can just pick them up. So you can get home from work, a bit stressed, you can just pick it up, do a bit, and put it down again. You don't need to get all the kit out, you don't need to get painting workstations out. It's really therapeutic, as you said.
We always talk about James Bond as an escape. You know, we all have daily grinds, family, jobs, things like that, and to have an escape to build these things, and then to build something from James Bond. But the logical next question, because my channel is a James Bond channel, is you were doing different models, and I love the process of, you know, doing laser scans, making these 100% accurate to the ones, because your clients are finicky. But how did you get into the whole idea of putting James Bond into your catalog?
So we only choose models that we want to do ourselves. So we're all modelers. And this is kind of a lot of the nostalgia stuff. It's things we've loved. Some of the cars are things we have posters on the wall at home. With James Bond, yeah, we've all grown up with James Bond, we love it. And I've always thought it'd be so good to make a James Bond car. So it's just passion from ourselves to do it. So we contacted Eon and said, can we get the license to do this? We just love doing it, and yeah, go for it.
What does Eon say to you? Do they say, listen, we need to understand your history? I mean, obviously, one of the things I love about this is they had to, I'm just going to say it, you know, to be a Bond licensee, you have to pass certain muster.
Sure. I think part of it is just a passion for Bond.
Yes.
That's number one tick.
Check.
But what they said to us is you have to make the model as James Bond's driving it in the movie. So as we all know, there's various versions of the cars made for the movie and all slightly different to do different things. So what we're not making is a film production model.
Right.
So when we go and scan all these models, all the real cars, there's several of them, all slightly different, and we have to merge those into what's actually on screen. So that's the key thing that Eon have told us, is it's got to be the car that's on the screen that James Bond drives.
Right.
Which has some technical difficulties, because when you try to put certain bits in real cars, you think, well, the engine's in the way. What do we do? Then we also work with Aston Martin and other car manufacturers, and we use all their templates. So we put all this together to make exactly what James Bond drives in real life.
And by the way, you are a very good storyteller, so I'm glad they're hearing this story. I wanted everyone, because I knew a little bit about it, but I wanted everybody to hear the challenge, not just the opportunity that Agora Models had, but the challenge to get this to market, to get this into our hands. And when a box arrives at our house, I don't want them just to open the box to see the product. I want them to think about what was the journey and the heritage and the story of people and of James Bond and the legacy to get us here. But I've sort of given something away. It doesn't all come at once, does it?
No. We're selling a hobby.
Right.
So our kind of ethos is not, here's a lovely model, put it on your shelf. What we're having is like a journey to build that final thing.
I love it.
So you build a car pretty much from the bottom up in the same way as a real one. Chassis, engine. So you're getting to see what's actually under the hood.
Right.
And see what's there. And you do that gradually. And our product is that hobby of building it. And to do that, you don't need the whole thing in one go.
Right.
In fact, it's quite daunting because as I said, it's like 500 to 1,000 parts, 1:8 scale. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's big. It's all delivered. We will deliver it if you want it all in one go.
Right.
But a lot of people just have it a bit every month and
Yeah.
build it over 12 months.
I love the staggering because, and this is a confession, you knew this already, I am not a professional model builder. I'm not even an amateur model builder. This is my first foray, but I think this was part of the exciting experiment that you and I talked about, is that telling people you do not have to be an expert. You don't need to have 10, 20 years of model building. In fact, dare I say, this could be a wonderful entry point into the world of model building.
Yeah, absolutely, because we've got rid of those problematic things of glue and paint.
Right.
And it's at an easy pace. And actually, we spend a lot of time and effort on the instructions. So there are hundreds and hundreds of photographs of us building it and instructions every single part. So it's really clear. There's hundreds of pages that you kind of go through. It really is each step at a time.
Right.
Working through, holding your hand all the way through it.
What are the different offerings from a Bond standpoint that you have right now?
In terms of the products?
Correct.
So the first one we launched was the DB5 from No Time to Die.
Yes.
Followed that with the Lotus Esprit, Wet Nelly. And then just recently for the 60th anniversary, we've done the Goldfinger DB5. And there's the gold-plated one, obviously, which everyone's talking about. There's also the standard version. And all the models have all the gadgets. Some of them have gadgets that you don't even see in the movie. Like on No Time to Die, the license plates were LED ones,
right.
Which you don't get to see in the movie.
You do not.
Ours has it, so
amazing.
We have these bits. And then we've got a couple more coming out next year as well.
Okay, I'm excited because James was good enough to bring a box. What's in the box? So this is the box. This is the very first box you would get.
That's correct.
If you ordered the Lotus Esprit, the Wet Nelly, the Spy Who Loved Me Lotus Esprit, and as we open it, what I love about your company, and this is really the three parts of your vision and mission, you could see this on their website, is you not just talk about an incredible product. You don't just talk about customer experience and service. You talk about the overall experience, and watch what happens when you open your first box. Kabam! So you're going to get some amazing imagery. I love that they didn't cut corners. This isn't just a brown paper bag, ladies and gentlemen. The Spy Who Loved Me, Lotus Esprit, you get sort of that nostalgic chills up your spine. Agora Models, James Bond collection. But I'm seeing a lot of gear in here. James, what do we have in here?
So we break up the build into what we call stages. There's about 100 stages.
Oh.
So each stage comes with a little pack. It could be in a pack like this or bag. So this is stage 2. And this is the front of the Esprit.
Amazing.
So you can see it's all painted white.
By the way, recognizable right away. And you also have branding on each one of the stages, which is really nice. It's almost like it's separate individual products, gifts, if you will, inside the box. Oh, I see something else.
And of course, you could just open this, do a couple of stages, then put it away, come back a few days later and carry on.
Right.
So, because it's all in parts like this. And then the instructions are linked to each stage as well. So this is the door. So in first pack, you also get the driver's side door.
By the way, I love how these are like teases, because when you're a fan, it's almost like that Find Waldo moment. It's like, I see the door. I see the front. Oh, wow. Okay.
So this is an example of bits that come in bags. So this is starting the engine build. So these are all components to the engine. And what we do is, that kind of I mentioned before, is the way you build these really is from the chassis, then the engine, and the wheels and the body. But that's not the most exciting way of doing it. So what we do is we put some of these body parts right up front. So you can build a door, though you don't need the door till much later.
Right.
You can build the door and see what the paintwork's like and see the tartan interior. So you get some nice fancy bits to do straight up, as well as building the motor. The engine is loads of tiny small bits to put that together, but you also get the big bodywork. So here's the bonnet or the hood.
You can call it the bonnet. We're in London, I get it. Amazing. Now, that's a tool in there?
Yeah, so you need one tool.
Yeah.
With all our models, that's a screwdriver. So we always give a screwdriver with the first pack. So you have everything you need. So you can open it and get started straight away.
So, and let me reassure my audience one more time. James and I did not rehearse any of these, and I have not opened up any of these. What I'm loving about this is it's not like when you're building a real car where you're building like an engine or the chassis or anything like that. You're basically almost, it's an imagination taking over where you're seeing parts of the car in your mind. That's how you're delivering these.
Yeah, exactly. And it's after each box, you've actually got something physical in its own right. Of, oh, here's a complete door. Here's part of the bonnet. So that's the that's a bit of trim of the door. The
trim of the door, and then we have, and I love how each one of these are very kind of, it says what it is. This is 5, stage 5.
So that's the green trim on the inside of the door, because all the inside green and orange of this one.
And a side mirror. And then there's something at the bottom.
Yeah, there's a little brochure that comes with it.
Now, are these the pictures that you mentioned as well?
So this is, well, basically, this is just a kind of a general guide to what you're getting.
Oh, thank goodness. This is what it should look like, basically.
Yeah. And kind of the features.
Oh, my gosh.
So it's kind of going through, in this case, all the Bond gadgets that you're going to get.
Right.
As you go. And then it does open up into a lovely poster.
Centerfold. So, James, I have all these parts in front of me. What we haven't told everybody is that Agora Models and the Bond Experience are working together, because I am literally going to be going through a journey for the next 12 months, building both the No Time to Die DB5 and this Lotus Esprit. And every month we're going to be bringing you a video as I'm building the parts. I have a place at home, but talk to us about space. Because, you know, I think people are thinking, for example, are they going to be littering parts around a giant floor? Or can you build these kind of, you know, on a tabletop?
Absolutely, a tabletop is fine. You could even put it on a tray in front of the TV and do it there. I've done it that way. You kind of you need somewhere to store the model between parts who's doing it, so it just doesn't get knocked off or anything or wrecked. But yeah, just a table, like a kitchen table, or I say on a tray, just any small workspace. I mean, just kind of just space we've got here is plenty of room. You don't need painting, so you don't need to lay out all loads of paints and protection and sprays and everything. You just need a surface, kind of the size you'd have your dinner at. Really.
But I love the fact that there's not going to be any smells. No aerosol. No glue smells, no cleanup, no issues. So if you have nice carpeting out there, or significant others that are like, don't make a mess, this is a nice way to keep it confined and work on these things.
You could, for example, just take that one pack, take that, have it on your mobile phone, the instructions, or laptop, and just do that one bit. And then you're done, put it down, and then move on.
And then you wait for the next crisis in your life and then build another one. And who needs therapy? Who needs therapy anymore? Yeah. Now, we have something here. James sort of surprised us because we're here sitting amongst lots of James Bond, but we decided to add one more key ingredient to this. When you see parts like this, sometimes it's hard to visualize, even with a beautiful image that Eon supplied you, that there is going to be an end product, something that you can display and put out and tell your friends about and brag. And check this out. Ladies and gentlemen, here it is in all its glory. We don't mean to fast forward, but it's important for you to see this all. James, I'm sort of freaking out here. This is absolutely stunning and beautiful. Talk to us about what we're looking at.
So this is the completed Lotus Esprit. It's about 22 inches long and weighs 7 kilos, 15 pounds.
Wow.
So it's quite a heavy beast.
Oh my gosh.
Because that's essentially because the whole bodywork's metal, the chassis metal. So we follow the same materials as a real car, so as much as we can.
It is like it has just appeared out of the movie. The one thing I do want to call out too, because listen, I'm a collector, like you're a collector. I have some models, and I'm doing this with my hands because I have some models. When you see something of this grand scale, this is of an entirely different make. What's the size of this?
So it's 1:8 scale.
1:8?
Yeah.
Okay, my gosh.
And I think at that size, you can get a lot more detail.
Yes.
So when you look at the engine, there's kind of writing on the engine, all the labelling. So like oil cans have all the wording on. So we can have a look at the dashboard inside. That's got all the dials and everything.
Unbelievable. Now this fully, I mean, it opens obviously. Do you want to open that for us?
Sure. So that opens and you can see inside. Wow. So you have the lovely orange carpet, the green seats with the tartan in it, and then all the control panels, the steering wheel turns,
even the stitching. The stitching on the seats, that's insanity.
So you have the seat belts. So you make the seat belt, and the seat, I mean, these are kind of big one-piece seats because that's how they were. But often the seats, like on the DB5, you've got all the metal work of the seat adjusters and everything. So things like that, we work closely with Lotus. We scanned a real Lotus car to get all the details of the actual Lotus components. And similarly with Aston Martin, we scan actual DB5s. So we combine the DB5 from Aston Martin with the Eon one to get all the actual detail correct.
Now, I told you this was a bit of a tease because we're going on this journey together. We are not going to show you all the gadgets and all the working aspects, but this does have a remote control to it, doesn't it?
Yeah, so you have a remote control where you can turn things on and off. So all the lighting works throughout. So as you build it, you'll be able to see the lighting come on. So the lights as well, these pop up.
Oh, come on, stop it.
So they'll go on. And then of course the weapons bay at the front.
Of course it does.
With all the harpoons and torpedoes in it.
Unbelievable. And that is something, I mean, do the engines work, the propellers in the back
Propellers
work?
spin, yeah. Turn those on, so each has a little motor in, and they'll spin and go round. You can adjust the fins as well.
This is, you know, to call this a toy, I think is a misnomer, because this is truly, it's an exact replica. I mean, I don't think you're ever going to get closer. But what I love about this and why I'm so excited about this journey is that you're putting it together with your own hands, which increases your level of satisfaction.
Totally.
So my thumbnail was completely honest that I am building my own Lotus Esprit and DB5. Don't burn me down for that. But we aren't going to show you all the working stuff because you're going to see my working cars and gadgets at the tail end. James, will you join us at the tail end of my journey and we'll talk about it a little bit more?
Absolutely. And anywhere between now and then, I can chip in and help out if you need any assistance.
I may have to
You
call
won't,
you.
though. You won't.
I probably won't. I probably won't. But it's always nice to talk to you.
Of course.
James, thank you so much, not just for bringing this in and walking us through this, but for supplying these things. And I'm going to ask only one more question. And it's an unfair question of which I did not prepare him.
Uh-oh.
Might Agora Models, since these have been so successful, you're making them successful, might they actually have more Bond entries coming down the pipe?
Absolutely.
Oh, he kept tight-lipped. That's it.
One word answer.
Yeah, no. He's very good. Listen, it's James Bond. You have to have a little bit of intrigue, and I get it. Well, James, thank you so much.
Pleasure.
I'm going to open up my first boxes. In the meantime, check out my videos every single month. Come with me on our journey. In the meantime, this has been David Zaritsky for the Bond Experience. We'll see you all real soon. Take care. Thanks for watching this episode. If you want to be up on the latest from the Bond Experience, just click on this subscribe and subscribe to our channel. You're going to get all the latest and greatest information, plus some exclusive content. And by the way, speaking of content, here's something especially for you, just because we know you. Talk to you soon.